Hello, I'm Jeremy Schuback, and welcome to the Photoshop Expert Series. This is episode 2, and what we're going to be covering is, I'm not going to say beginner selection, because we're going to be getting very advanced very quickly. However, we're going to start with the beginning tools in a very advanced way. So stick with me, and if all of this seems like a review, I don't believe you. This is going to be new. I'm doing some really cool stuff right here. All right, click M to get to Marquee. You'll notice that it's located right here. In order to switch between the square marquee and the circular marquee, hit Shift M, and you'll notice that if we look at this layer palette, hitting Shift plus the keyboard shortcut will get you to the thing. If you hover over it, in case you forget the keyboard shortcut, you'll notice it shows you exactly that it's M. All right, so we all know that clicking and dragging creates the selection. If I were to do nothing more than click and drag and then invert the selection, to invert the selection, either right-click and press Select Inverse or Control-Shift-I. And that's invert right there. And then you can just hit delete in CS5. There's a content-aware Control-Shift-I. That's invert selection. That's a good keyboard shortcut. I use it all the time, especially when I want a quick delete. In CS5, content-aware delete will make it so if you're on a background layer and you press delete, it might not do exactly what you would expect. So we're not going to talk about content-aware fill in this section. Just suffice it to say, if you have a background layer, background with lock sign, just double-click it, and that'll turn it into a normal layer. So I'm going to press OK to that. You'll see it's now a normal layer. All right. Keyboard shortcuts you need to know with using selection. If you hold down Alt, the selection, the marquee selection, will go from the center point, which is exactly what we want in this point. To turn on the ruler, you hit Control-R for ruler. Then you can drag down guides as you want. In order to deselect, that is Control-D. I told you this was an expert series, so I'm gonna just Control-D, deselect. So I'm just gonna throw you a lot of keyboard shortcuts that you probably already know, but a couple of you might not know them. So you'll notice I just dragged in guides, Control-R for the ruler. And I'm just gonna bring this up here, Control that, whatever this is, to turn off and on the ruler. So it's becoming no wonder why I'm able to turn off everything in my menus if I know all of these shortcuts. So you'll notice in View, I right now have I have something for Snap, and I have something for Lock Guides, and I have something for Show Ruler. I would just turn all of these up, and for Zoom and Zoom Out, I can turn all of those off, as I showed you in the last video. In order to transform the selection, you just right-click, hit Transform Selection, and I can move this out a little bit. Then just Control-Shift-I, you press Delete, Control-D to deselect. There, boom, you've got a selection. Let's go over all of that one more time, because I know that I speak at a mile a minute, and review is good. I know this is YouTube, so you can kind of review everything that we're saying. F to change the screen mode, F again to change it again. I'm going to use the marquee. I don't want the circle. Control-D to deselect. Shift-M to change the marquee. Then I'm just going to click and drag. Now I'm going to right-click and go to Transform Selection, as opposed to Free Transform. Transform Selection. And so I can move it like this if I want. I don't want that. I want to move the individual points. So if I hold down Control, I can move the individual points. Now I should note, that is technically Command on Mac, and I'm only going to say this once in this tutorial series. I just say Control because Mac people know what I'm talking about, and Windows people would have no idea what I was talking about if I said Command. I never say Option, I just say Alt, and I'm aware there's a key that actually says Control on the Mac keyboard. Yeah, I don't use that key. I can only think of one use of it, and I just don't use that P key. All right, so I'm going to hit Control-Shift-I to invert the selection, hit Delete, press Control-D to deselect. Now I'm going to bring in my ruler. Again, in order to bring the ruler up, it's Control-R. That's something you should absolutely know if you're using Photoshop for design, and if you're just using it to fix photographs, so Control-T, and then again, if you're just using it to fix photographs, it's still good to know. Yay. Hey, Control-R for ruler, and you can click and drag for guides. I'm going to hit Control so I can just affect the individual points, and then I'm just going to align it with the grids right here. And this is just going to make it so to lose the little bit of perspective on it. So there we go. If it's snapping like it is right here, and you can't get that away, you actually need to escape out of this. We're going to escape out of this. I'm going to switch screen mode so I actually have my menu bar at top. And I know, blasphemy. And I'm just going to go into View, Snap. I'm going to turn that off. Now I'm going to hit Control-T. And again, I'm just going to go. You'll notice that this is just giving me a lot more flexibility. If I go up here, it doesn't accidentally snap to this thing. Some people might want it so it's snapping to the ruler guides. I don't. I just want to have a lot of control. So I'm going to hit Enter. I'm going to hit whatever this keyboard shortcut is, Control semicolons, Control colon, or to get rid of that. And now we have this straight. So just to give you an idea of the before and the after, we're talking about this to this. So fantastic. That's exactly what we want. Let's get out of this. We're going to end it right there. This will have been all about marquees. In the next session, I'm going to talk about how you can get a selection like this in about half a minute. All right. So this has been Jeremy Schuback. Please click subscribe. Please tell your friends. I've got a lot of great things planned in the Photoshop Expert series. Until next time.